Okay, hi everyone. Thanks for joining Kerry and I today. Really appreciate it. This webinar is all about getting started within LifeQI. So thanks again for joining. Might be some few people that continue to join, so I'm just gonna crack on so that we are kind of keep to time as much as possible. Just to let you know, it'll be really great. We've got a Q&A open, and Kerry will be helping me to facilitate this session. So I'll be running it, but Kerry will be on hand for any questions and answers that we have. So it's always quite good to know kind of who you are and where you come from. So please do pop that in the chat or the Q&A section. So it's good to know kind of who we have on the call today, where you're calling from, so which organisation, and also your experience of the platform so far. Are you new to LifeQI or have you been using it for quite some time? So just good to know a bit more about who's joining us on the call today. As I say, this session is all about getting started within the LifeQI system. So hopefully after the webinar, you'll be a little bit more aware and a little bit more confident of kicking off a project within the platform, and also just learn what LifeQI is all about and all the features and tools that we have for you within the platform. First things first, for anyone that's on the webinar that does not yet have an account within LifeQI, all you need to do is come to the website here, which is lifeqisystem.com. You can see that in my URL. And you can see that we have a sign up link. If you click on that sign up link, it will then take you through our sign up process, of which you'll have to pop in your email address. If which you are in the NHS, please use your NHS email address. And you'll be asked to align yourself to the organisation that you work for. And then you'll go through the process of being verified. If you already have an account within LifeQI, just click here to log in, and that will take you through to your start page. Couple of things just to make you aware of before we jump into the system itself is that we have a wealth of materials to support you through your use of LifeQI. And I'll jump into the Help Centre in just a second, but for those that don't know, LifeQI is based on the IHI model for improvement, and these tools are integrated throughout the whole platform to provide you with a single space for running your quality improvement projects, either standalone quality improvement projects or as part of your wider organisation. So depending on how your organisation is set up within the platform, it may be that you report on quality improvement work by division or directorate or so on. And then through the features in the platform as well, we have a range of reporting tools that you can use to actually pull off your quality improvement work and also demonstrate your success of quality improvement across the organisation. But as I say, today is all about just getting in and getting going with your quality improvement project. So apologies if people already know how to do this, but hopefully it'll be a great refresher for you. Just in terms of our resources, and if you are new to using the system, we have a wealth of information here under the resources tab on our website. We've got all of our webinars that are upcoming and also our previous webinars that you can watch back on demand if ever you want to. We have a fantastic help centre which breaks down the platform into every single module, and it includes how-to guides on how to do everything as well, but also includes some videos. So anything that I'm going through today, if I go through it a little bit too quickly, you'll be able to come back and reflect on anything that I've spoken about. We also have custom stories, so some great case studies of where the platform is being used and kind of how they're using it so well. So do come in and have a look through some of these features here. Just letting you kind of see what the Help Centre looks like. This is what it is. You can see that Help Centre is broken down into all the different modules within the platform. So if you are on a particular area of your quality improvement project, you can dive into the Help Centre and take a look at that. And also, please know that you are not alone. We do have live chat throughout the system as well. So if you want to come through and ask us any questions, please do. If you just click on the live chat button, you'll come through to our fantastic help team here that will be able to support you with your work. Great. So what I've done is I've now logged into LifeQI from that web page, and you can see that I am directed straight to my start page, which is essentially my landing page for quality improvement within the platform. It's personal to me, so it covers everything that I am running and that I am part of within the system. You can see here we've got my name, my job role, and where I work, and I've uploaded a profile picture. Scrolling down, you can see that I'm up to date on all of my requests at the moment. If you have anything outstanding, such as a project invite or anything like that, it will sit here for you ready to action. We've got the teams that I'm part of, and teams sit under a collaborative or a program within LifeQI. And if I keep scrolling down, the projects that I'm running, the groups that I'm part of, and so on. So it's quick links through to everything that you are running within the platform. Also worth noting at the top of each page, we have a Get Help link. Okay, so when you are in the platform, you are able to click on the Get Started link or whichever link is at the top, and that will take you through to the Help Centre, which has much more information about that particular feature that you are on. So again, we will guide you through the use of the platform. If you need to make any amendments to your profile, click on your initials on the top right-hand side of the page, and you can see here where you can edit your account. So that's a little bit about the navigation on your start page. The left-hand column here is what we call the navigation panel, and this breaks down the platform into all the different areas that we have available within LifeQI currently. I'll come back to projects in just a second because that's what we're going to be focusing on today. But also do know that we have a dedicated area where you can run programs of quality improvement or collaborative, depending on the terminology that you use. The analytics area is where we store all of the dashboards that you have access to. Excuse me, so a great way to pull all of those high-level metrics all in one place to demonstrate the value of your quality improvement work that you are running. And those dashboards can be customized as well. Groups are where all of the groups are stored. People is where you can search for other people that are using LifeQI. Maybe if they're in a neighbouring organisation and you want to understand what work they're doing, you can come in and have a look. And the same with the organisations tab. You can start to understand organisations within your country that are using LifeQI and what kind of projects they're working on. So that really opens up that collaborative space for quality improvement and really removes some of those barriers as well. So without a doubt, the heart of the system is the project area, and that's what I'm going to teach you today as to how to kick off your first quality improvement project within the platform, or again, just be a refresher on how to get going within a project within the platform as well. So to create your first quality improvement project, just click on the Projects tab, and you can see here I've been pulled through a list of my active projects. So we're now in the project section of LifeQI. Keep an eye on these filters on the right-hand side. So by default, they will filter to your active projects, which are the projects that you are running and that are currently active at the moment. If I scroll down, you can see within this particular demo system, I've got 45 active projects that I am part of. But this is where within your LifeQI system, so whichever country you are in, you can come in and you can understand the projects that are happening in your particular system. If I untick my project, what will happen is it will then open up the list of projects that are happening across that particular system that you are in. Worth noting that when you set up a project, you can set the privacy settings. By default, they will be only members can view, which means that only the members listed on the project are going to be able to view the full details of the project. You are able to open that up to everyone can view if you wish to do so. And what that means is that other people outside of your organisation will be able to view the full details of your project, but they will not be able to edit it. And I'll go through those permissions again slightly later on. You can also filter for different projects, so you can understand projects by project progress score, and I'll come on to what that score means in just a second, or projects that have been created in the past 7 days, or projects that are linked to specific priorities within your organisation, and so on. And then what you can also do, if you are just about to start a quality improvement project, but want to use LifeQI as a knowledge base to really understand what else is happening, you can type in a keyword to the search bar here, and then the platform will return a search based on that keyword. And that will pull through that keyword in the title, the aim, or whether it's been tagged with that. And then you can start to understand kind of those key themes of work that are happening around that term. And again, you can start to see what's this organisation working on? How are they tackling this particular issue? What are they looking to improve? And this is where the system really, really starts to kind of enhance that collaboration and learning of quality improvement. So that's searching for a project. Creating a quality improvement project, all you need to do is again, make sure you're in the project area, and you can see on the top right-hand side of your screen, there is a Start a New Project button. So just click on this one. And what will happen now is that we will start to go through our initial project charter within LifeQI. The first step for yourselves will be to give your project a title. And you can see this is a mandatory field. So I'm going to keep this quite simple this morning. And you can see that that box is now turned from red to blue, so we filled that in. The next section is the problem. Keep an eye out for these information buttons throughout the platform because they will support you with what to add into these particular sections, especially if you are quite new to quality improvement or you're teaching the model for improvement to your colleagues and staff across the organisation. So for the problem, we're looking for a concise description of the issue to be addressed, and it should identify the gap between the current state and the desired state of the process or system. And these are free text areas. So we do encourage that you fill these in as much as possible from the offset, but equally you can edit them later down the line when you have created the project. The next step here is what are we trying to accomplish? So what is our aim of our quality improvement project? And again, if I click on the information button, we have some points to consider when constructing the aim statement, and an example of a good aim statement and a bad aim statement. So again, to really help you and support you through the creation of your project. So I'm just going to keep this one quite simple. And then we have the rationale, which is the set of reasons for addressing the problem. It's one very simple. And again, just worth noting, anything that you put in here, you can edit and amend when you're further down the line. The next section here is how we build out our project team. So by default, it's put myself as the lead user and my organization as a lead organization. So when you create the project, it will put yourself as the lead user and the organization that you work for as the lead organization. But it could be that you're part of a wider quality improvement team and you want to pull in your clinical leads or some of your improvement advisors into this particular project. All you need to do is click on the Invite New Members button. And this will pull through a list of everyone that has an account within the system that you are working in. So all you need to do is just type the name of the person that you want to work with and then add them as a member. So click on the plus sign next to their name. You are then able, if you want to define their role within your quality improvement project. So I'm going to put Sophie as my improvement advisor. And by default, Sophie will have view and edit permissions, which means that she can view the project, but also make any edits to it. Admin permissions will sit with the lead user by default, but you can also kind of upgrade people's accounts within your particular area, so the project, if you wanted to. If I gave Sophie admin rights over the project, that means that she can invite people to the project or remove anyone and also delete aspects of work as well. So I'm just going to do the standard view and edit for Sophie. Click on add, and you can see that she is now ready to be invited. And you can continue to build out your project team to as many as you wish. If you're going to be working with someone that you know does not yet have an account within LifeQI, all you need to do is click on the blue Can't Find Someone button at the bottom, add in their email address, and that will then kick off their sign-up process to LifeQI. And once they're in and they're verified, they will have access to your project. So it kind of kicks off that process for them. The next section here is the privacy setting. So as you can see, by default, it's listed that only members can view, which means that only the members listed here can view the full details of this particular project. So on that project list search that I did, if anyone tried to click into this project, they wouldn't have access to do that. If you want to open it up to everyone can view, you can see you just click in the drop down and you manually update that. Again, if you want to kind of refer back on it, what that means, click on the information button and there's some more information here for you. The next step is where we can categorize our project. So I know our organization, we have strategic level priorities that we are working towards, and this may be the case for yourselves as well. If your priorities are listed on your organizational profile page within the platform, they will pull through to your project. And the benefit of this is that you can start to align quality improvement projects to the priorities that the organisation is working to. So you can see here, I've got some preloaded for me. So this project is linked to improving patient experience and improving health outcomes. And you can see it then links them. The benefit of categorising your project like this is that for most dashboards, we will report on the number of quality improvement projects that align with each priority. So it really helps you to evidence the quality improvement work that's happening in line with your strategic goals or objectives across the organisation. Next, you can use a tag. So tags are a great way to categorise your project and also help with searching. So when I did the sepsis project search earlier, it'll pull through anything that's tagged with that particular keywords as well. So tags also work a bit like hashtags on Twitter. So you can just kind of pull up the information quite easily. You can add a tag. So we'll have some tags already within the system for you. Or if you want to design your own, which is a little bit more organization specific, you are able to do that as well. So I'm going to tag this one with joy in work. And again, we can report on tags on dashboards. So you are able to pull through those high level metrics that align with each of those tags. And then the last step on our project charter is when and where the project is taking place. So start date and end date. The start date will automatically pull through today's date, but you can change that. And then for the end date as well, you can customize that through a calendar date selector. And I'm in the southwest of the UK today, so I can narrow down the location, but it could be that location is in a specific ward within your hospital or a specific primary care setting or anything like that. You can narrow down the location if you want. Then click on Create Project. And what we've done now is we've essentially kicked off our quality improvement project within LifeQI. That's now saved as a record and will be taken through to our project general page, which is where we can really start to get into the quality improvement tools within our particular piece of work. So this is what a project general page looks like. One of the many benefits of LifeQI is that the projects are structured in the same way, and that enables you to be able to compare and contrast work quite easily because you're looking at the same visual, essentially. This is our glance bar at the top of the page. You can see here how, obviously, we're very early on within this quality improvement project. So we are yet to do our driver diagram, but the system's giving us a good nudge to be able to do that next, adding in our measures and adding in our PDSAs. This section here is the project details, and this is everything that we've just added in. And as I say, if you want to make any amendments to this, you absolutely can. Just click on the edit button and you will see everything becomes changeable. So you can come in and amend your aim if you wanted to, or add in your problem. You can also change the status of the project. So it might be that this project has now actually been marked as cancelled or completed. You are able to do that, and that will then filter the project accordingly to your dashboards. You can also add in your service user involvement. And again, if you want any more information about that, click on the information button here, and it will give you a little bit more about kind of what little I means, what big I means, and so on. Just scrolling back up, and we're going to start to work through the glance bar now. Before I do that, I'm just going to pause and see if there's any questions, Kerry, that you want me to tackle before I jump into the IHI project progress score.
Yeah, just one question. If you want to be requested to be added to a project, can you do that within the system?
Yep, great question. So if you are looking through the project list and you're not a member of a particular project within your organisation, yes, you can request to join it. There will be a button on the project when you click on it, and it will say request to join. What will then happen is that the lead user of the project will be sent an email, and then they have the option to accept or decline that. Hope that helps. That was for Jordan. Thank you, Jordan. Any other questions, please do fire them in, and I will make sure that I pause and answer those as we go. So just working through the glance bar here. First things first, as you can see, this 0.5. This is the IHI project progress score. And throughout the system, all projects will be assigned an IHI project progress score. And it's an indication of how far along within the project you are. Really, really important that you know that this is a manual change for your quality improvement project. So please do, and your teams, make sure that when you're working through your project, that your score is a true reflection of where you are within the activity that you are doing. If I click on each of the scores here, you will see a description of the score pops up. So it's really, really important that you make sure, or you understand as much as possible, that your project is aligned to that description. So I'm going to say that the planning for this project has begun, and I'm going to click on change score. And what that will do is that then update the score in real time on my score panel here. Next thing is the project team. This is everyone that we invited. So Sophie's here and she's waiting to accept the invitation. But if I want to continue to build out my project team, I can do that from this page as well. You can see the full list there and you invite them in exactly the same way. This is a project timeline, so a great way to understand the audit trail of the quality improvement project and understand the activity, or maybe even perhaps the inactivity of this particular piece of work. So if I was coaching this project and I could come here and understand what's been happening within the project team, what have they been adding to the project, kind of where are they, really understand their thoughts of the piece of work that they are running. So you can see 10 minutes ago we started it, and just a moment ago we changed the project progress score. And you can also add to the timeline. So you can add a status update, a status change, or predict a project score change. So I'm going to add in a status update today. So it could be that this morning you've had a team huddle about this particular piece of work and agreed, excuse my typing, next PDSA. And then create event. What that will do is then log that to your project timeline. So you can really understand kind of what's happening within this piece of work. This folder area is where you can upload and store any supporting information relevant to your quality improvement project. So it could be that you are following any guidance and you want to upload that as a supporting piece of information for your project team, any reports or any kind of posters that you're working on, you can upload here so that your project team has access to that. And again, if you are working across kind of a very large organization, it just means that you've got this single space to keep everything together for your quality improvement project. And lastly, this is the project megaphone. So this is a great way to notify your project team. So if you've got a message you want to post out to them, if you want to give them a bit of an update, it's a fantastic way to keep everyone in communication. So all you do is write a message here, click on the blue button, and that will then send them an email alert that you've updated to the project notice board. But also the next time they come in, they'll have an alert to let them know that you've posted within the project itself. Okay, so next thing within our project that I want to dive into is our driver diagram. So click on Start and you'll be taken through to your driver diagram page. For those that don't know, driver diagrams are fantastic planning tools within quality improvements. And again, at the top of the page, there's a Get Help link if you want to know any more about driver diagrams, why they're so good for planning, and kind of the terminology behind primary and secondary drivers. I was going to build out a fairly simple one today to show you how easy it is just to get going. So click on the Edit button to start adding your drivers. You can see here the aim is automatically pulled through from our project general page, but if you do want to edit that, you are able to do that from this page here. And then to build out your primary drivers, just simply click on the plus sign and you can see as simply as that, the boxes then are created for you. So I'm going to keep this fairly straightforward for the purposes of today's call. So I've got my two primary drivers and then we start to build out our secondary drivers. And then lastly, we have our change ideas, which are linked to our PDSA cycles. So our small tests of change that we're going to be running. There we go. Oh, great. And then just make sure you save any changes. And you can then start to see your driver diagram being built out. So very, very straightforward. And it means that you only need to create it within the platform. You don't need to create it outside and then upload it. It's all built into the system for you to make it very straightforward and very easy. If I just come back into edit, what you can also do is color code your driver diagram if you want to. You don't have to, it's not mandatory, but the colors are available there to help kind of separate out those boxes if you wanted to. And then you can label them accordingly. Again, you can customize these depending on whichever suits you best for your quality improvement project. I'm just going to pop some of these in. And then you can see, let's just add a bit of color into this and so on. If any of the pastel colors are quite difficult to see the white text, you are also able to change the color of the text as well. That can be quite helpful if you are going to export the driver diagram off the platform for presentation purposes. Another thing that you can do is we know that driver diagrams can get particularly large within the platform. You are able to kind of link drivers to different corresponding drivers as well. So for example, if this change idea was also linked to the reporting secondary driver, what I can do is link it back. So at the moment, it's all very nice and straightforward and we've moved left to right across the screen, but you can also work backwards, so work right to left. So all you need to do is click on the pin of the first box and then the pin of the corresponding driver that you'd want to link it to. And you can see that you've then got those interlinking lines. So I'll just do that again for you. So if I link reporting to training, you can see you can link that back. Please make sure you save any changes to your driver diagram. Any changes that you do make once you've hit save will save to the history of the driver diagram as well. This is a great way to really understand how the project has evolved over time, which it will inevitably do. That's kind of the spirit of quality improvement. But you can see 2 minutes ago, the driver diagram looked like this, and then we've made some changes and customized the driver diagram, and now it looks like this. Again, if you're a coach or an improvement advisor on a quality improvement project, it allows you to support your team because you can understand where they started within the infancy of their quality improvement project and where they are now, that they're a little bit more advanced, and kind of that brain thinking that has gone behind their drivers and change ideas. Another thing you can do on the driver diagram page is expand it. So you can work on a popped out view if you wanted to, because again, we've seen some huge ones within the system that can be quite difficult to read, but just allows you to have that expanded view. And lastly, within the driver diagram, you can export it off the system. So once you've created it, you can export it as a PDF and then use that outside the platform on any presentations or posters that you have. So you do not need to recreate that anywhere else. Perfect. I don't see any questions, Kerry. So are you happy if I carry on to measures and charts?
Yeah, that's fine. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you. So as well as the driver diagram within your quality improvement project in LifeQI, we also have a dedicated area where you can add your data into our charts within the platform. So again, helps you track your data over time and really understand if the changes that you are making as part of your quality improvement aim are having an improvement effect on the data that you are collecting or the system or process that you are monitoring. Again, if you want any help with any of the measures sections within LifeQI, click on the Get Help with Measures link, and that will take you straight through to our help center all about measures. But to create your first measure, all you do is click on the new measure button. And again, we're going to get a nice little pop-up now that will take us through how to create our first measure. So you can see 2 mandatory fields here, which is the title and the measure type. So I'm just going to put in give your measure a title, and then define your measure type. So we have 3 types of measures within LifeQI based on the model for improvement. We have outcome, process, or balance. And again, if you are unsure, click on the tooltip here or the information button, and that will give you an overview of what each of those measures are and what they mean. Then we have a free text area here for your operational definition. And this is a great way for you to be able to describe your measure and include what to measure and the steps to follow it. Just also really helpful if you are setting up this measure for someone else in your team to add in the data, just means that they know where to go to access that information to put in that data for you. And then we've got a free text area here for the data collection plan, where you can add in how specific those data sources are, kind of how often is the data to be collected and so on. Not mandatory, but they are there if you want to use them. Then we come down to a drop-down list of our chart type. The system will default to a run chart purely because they're the easiest to use and the easiest to interpret. But what we do have, if you click in, is a list here of different types of charts that we have available to you currently within the platform. If you need any help with choosing a chart type, click on the wizard here, and what it will do is take you through each of our charts that we have available, a description of that particular chart, examples of where they are used, and the data that you should capture in order to be able to use that chart. So you can see here we have a run chart, and then we have a series of SPC charts that you can use. For the purposes of today, I'm going to use a P chart. So I've already selected that one. Then we have a drop down for the data collection frequency. This is how often you're going to be inputting the data into this particular chart. Do you know if it's going to be kind of weekly, quarterly, monthly, daily? If so, we've got those predetermined fields here. Or if it is going to be custom, we do have 2 custom fields that you can use. So we've got custom unknown, allow you to put any date in, or custom no date means that you don't have to put a date in. So you can put in a label there if you wanted to. So I'm going to use monthly today, and then click on next. And then what you can also do is link your measure to any of your drivers on your driver diagram. So just really allows you to understand what is happening and what are you monitoring and how is that going to affect your overall aim of your quality improvement project. So it allows you to tie everything together within this piece of work, and then click on Create Measure. We'll now be taken through to our measure page. where we will now come in and add in our data through a chart. But before I do that, if I click on plan, this will take me through to those those measure details that we've just added in. And if you need to make any changes, click on edit and you will see the fields that become changeable for your measure. So if I come in now, I'm going to add in a chart to this particular measure. Click on add chart, give your chart a name. I'm just going to put, okay, click on add row. And here we have our LifeQI datasheet. This is expecting a time period, count, and a total. And that's because I selected a P chart. Okay, so we selected a monthly P chart. So my data needs to be monthly and then the count and total. LifeQI will then calculate the percentage total for me. You've got two options here. You can actually manually add in your data, or what I do have is an Excel spreadsheet here, just so I want to show you how easy it is to copy and paste from Excel into LifeQI. I imagine that for a lot of your projects, you may have some of the data already collected. So all you need to do is copy the particular columns. So I've selected a monthly P chart. So I've got my month, my count, and my total. So you just need to make sure that the Excel spreadsheet copies that, or it kind of mimics that of the LifeQI datasheet as well in terms of the number of columns. Please don't include any title fields of your Excel spreadsheet because you will get an error come up. So just the data itself. Come back into LifeQI, paste that data in the first box, and then click on Create Chart. And you can see now that LifeQI has created that chart for me, and we get to see a bit of a spark lines, a bit of an overview of what that chart looks like, and also that I've got data overdue. So if I now open that chart up, you can see that we've got my P chart that's been drawn for me. We've got the rules here that have come through the system, so that the system's done all of that for us. We've got 2 points of high variation, and if you click on the points, that will give you a description of what that rule means. 2 outlier points, and this data is also showing a trend as well. If you want to keep adding in any data, all you do is click on Edit, scroll down to the data sheet. So obviously this was an input from Excel, but I can now come in and I can manually add in any data as well if I wanted to. So I'll just add in a couple more data points to show you how to do that. The platform will automatically detect that you need to redraw because you've added in some more data. Click on Redraw Chart and you can see it's popped those data points in there for me as well. A couple of other things that you can do is on our charts, we have 3 phases. We have the baseline phase, the test phase, and the sustain phase. And you are able to move your chart through these phases based on your data and where you are within that data collection period. When in edit mode, click on the data point and you can see next phase. So if I'm just going to click that and you can see it's now fixed the baseline from that particular point, and we're now moving forward into the testing phase. I'm just going to save those changes, click back into my chart, and you can see it's fixed the baseline from that point and it's projecting the center line moving forward. So what I now need to do is come in, recalculate my control limits. Excuse me, just refreshing. And you can see that the system has then recalculated the control limits based on the data moving forward. So you don't have to be a BI, an analyst or anything to be able to do that. The system will support you in kind of being able to really understand what the data is telling you within this particular SPC chart. What you can also do is you can annotate particular data points as well. So for this one, there was a high number of staff working from home. So you're able to annotate your charts. We haven't got any PDSAs listed within our project yet, but when we have, we can come back into our chart and actually list the PDSAs that we ran at those particular data points. And the benefit of that is that you are then able to understand what changes are you making and what effect is that having on the data that you are collecting. Are you starting to demonstrate improvement within the system or process, or are you not? And that's why charts over time are particularly helpful to be able to see that. Make sure you save any changes, and you can see we have our P chart that's now starting to come to life. And again, we've got these the rules that are showing for us here. If you want to take the data sheet off LifeQI, so this is the data sheet here. If you want to export that out of LifeQI back into a CSV file, you are able to do that. Just click on Export Datasheet. Or if you want to export the chart as an image, so again, you don't have to recreate it outside the platform, you can export that off the platform as well. So that's how to create a measure and add in some data to your measure as well. Just going to jump back to the general page because I'd like to show you how our glance bar is now looking. So you can see we've got an overview of our driver diagram. We've now got one measure and one chart, and the next step is for us to kick off our PDSA cycles. So this would always be a good opportunity for your team to come back in and make sure that the project progress score is a true reflection of that activity that's happening within the project. From looking at this glance bar here and kind of where we are within this project, we're obviously still in its fairly early stages. What I wanted to do is jump across to a populated project to show you how the glance bar will start to evolve over time. And again, if you are supporting and coaching your colleagues within the platform, or you've got a number of different quality improvement projects on the go, you can start to understand, kind of the difference within the maturity of the quality improvement projects. So as I say, this one's fairly early on. If I show you a more advanced quality improvement project, you can see how many measures and charts it has, how many PDSA ramps and cycles it has, and the RHI project progress score there. Again, if you clicked on the timeline, you'd see everything that's happened. So there's obviously quite a large audit trail for this particular quality improvement project, but it allows you to really understand what's happening. In terms of creating a PDSA within the system, that was our next point on our project, but I just wanted to show you an advanced PDSA just to show you what they look like. So if I click into the PDSA element of this project here, you can see how the page looks once you started to create some. Just a few things in terms of terminology within the PDSA page. So you'll see here we have a change idea. So a change idea is listed on your driver diagram, okay? They're the ones that you built out that are linked to your secondary drivers. A PDSA ramp is a collection of PDSA cycles, okay? So within this particular PDSA ramp, we have 3 cycles, which is linked to this change idea. So when you create your new PDSA ramp, just click on the button here, and it will take you through a pop-out again that will ask for your title, your aim, whether it's even linked to a change idea in your driver diagram, and what's your plan and objective for that PDSA. So it's a very logical way to run your plan, do, study, act cycles within the system. And again, if you want to know any more about the methodologies of PDSAs, jump into our help centre because the platform will take you through that as well. But just in terms of jumping into a PDSA itself, if I open up this ramp and this particular cycle, this is what they then look like. So we've got a very, very clear form for our plan, which outlines the title, the aim, any overview and notes, and your prediction for that particular PDSA, any measures that that PDSA is linked to, and then at the bottom, we have the do, the study, and the act. So every time you run your PDSA, you come in and you describe what happened when you did it. How did that compare to your prediction? And what are you going to do next in order to run your next cycle? You can have as many cycles as you want within a PDSA ramp, completely down to the kind of the test of change that you are running and until you reach your desired objective or aim. You may reach it within your first cycle, which is fantastic, or obviously you may want to do some different cycles of that until you reach your desired goal or aim. So this is what they then start to look like. And again, you can start to understand, so this one's got 2 complete cycles because you can see all the quadrants are filled in. But on the last cycle here, they are in the initial planning stage of that PDSA cycle. They are yet to fill in the do, the study, and the act. So this is how they're laid out by change ideas. If any of your PDSA ramps are not linked to a change idea, that's fine. They just won't have this text above it here. But the flexibility of the system means that not everything that you do has to be linked back to the driver diagram. It might be you can just kind of kick off with a PDSA that isn't directly linked and then link it afterwards. Perfect. Lastly, on our quality improvement project, just aware of time is the discussion element within our project as well. So if I click on discuss on this project, you can see here we've got 2 discussion threads. The project notice board will be there by default on all of your projects. And what that does is it pulls through the audit trail from your project megaphone. So anything that you posted on the megaphone will pull through to your project notice board. The benefit of these as well is that you can attach anything. So it could be that you're working with your team on a report or a presentation document or anything like that. You can attach it as a file, and then you can write a message to your team asking for their input or their support or their feedback on any of that. And it just allows you to have all of those discussions around the quality improvement work within that single space. But what you can also do is create any other new discussions that you want as well. So it could be that you want to have a discussion about a learning set that's coming up and you can invite relevant people to it and so on. But as I say, it just allows you to keep it all within one aspect of the system, and that you don't need to have too many kind of Outlook emails to talk about that. You can keep it all in one place. Perfect. So I'm just going to jump back to our project. This is the one that we've started together. And I'm going to pause there, Kerry, just if there's any questions, because that was everything that I wanted to run through this morning. So I just want to kind of offer up the next few minutes if anyone's got anything that they want me to answer or go back over.
Hi, Erica, thanks for that. I just sent out the free trial link just for anybody that doesn't currently have an account with us. And somebody did come back in and said, as part of the learning, can I do a complete project on the free trial to see how it comes out?
Yeah, you can run a quality improvement project during your free trial. That's absolutely fine. So yeah, crack on and do that. I'd highly encourage you to do that. Gives you a little bit more of an understanding of how the system works and kind of how you can work through the methodology. You can also, as part of the system, pull off a report of your quality improvement project as well. So within the actions page, action section on the general page, click on reports and you'll see a list of reports that you have access to. So the benefit of this is that, again, you don't have to do a quality improvement report outside of the platform. You can pull one off that pulls everything that you've created within the platform into one place, and you can export that. So you've got a record of the work that you've done as well. But yeah, Steve, highly encourage you to get in and create a quality improvement project and just work through the tools and the functionality that we offer throughout the platform. Any other questions?
Not that I can see. I'm just popping the creating a new project link, Steve, for you there. So that should help you get started.
Lovely. Okay. Well, that was kind of learning about Life QI and kicking off a quality improvement project within the platform. So I hope that was helpful to take you through that and hopefully increase your knowledge and awareness of how to do that and how easy it is to do that. So very much look forward to seeing your projects on the platform. But if there aren't any more questions, I'll give you 2 minutes back of your day, ready for your next meeting, I imagine. But yeah, anything else that we can help with, please do come through to us at the help team. We've got the live chat throughout the system. We've got a help email address, which you'll find on our website. And also we have a number of other webinars that are on the horizon that I'd encourage you to join as well to learn more about particular features within the platform. Perfect. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day. Take care.